A successful businessman, Mr. Thompson, was getting older and knew the time had come to choose someone to take over his huge company. Instead of choosing one of his children, he decided to do something unique. He gathered all the young executives working in his company. "The moment has come for me to step aside and pick the next CEO," he stated. "And guess what? I've made up my mind to select one of you." The young executives were taken aback, but Mr. Thompson continued. "I'm going to give each one of you a seed today, a very special seed. I want you to plant it, water it, and come back to me exactly 1 year from today, showing me what has grown from the seed I handed you. After that, I'll take a look at the plants you've grown, and the one that impresses me most will be our next CEO." Among the eager crowd was a man named Jim. He, like the others, was given a seed. When he got back home, Jim excitedly shared the story with his wife. She helped him find a pot, soil and compost, and together they planted the seed. Day by day, he'd water it and keep a watchful eye for any sign of growth. After about 3 weeks, some of the other executives began chatting about their seeds and the plants they were taking care of. Jim carried on monitoring his seed, but nothing seemed to sprout. Weeks turned into months, yet Jim's pot remained empty. The others were talking about their flourishing trees and tall plants, but Jim had nothing to show for his efforts. He felt like he had failed. 6 months came and went, still nothing in Jim's pot. He was convinced he'd managed to kill the seed. Although his colleagues were discussing their vibrant plants, Jim remained silent. He just kept on watering and caring for the soil, wishing for the seed to bloom. Finally, a whole year passed, and all the young executives proudly presented their plants to Mr. Thompson for evaluation. Jim confided in his wife that he was too ashamed to show up with an empty pot. But she encouraged him to be truthful about his experience. Jim felt a knot in his stomach. This was going to be one incredibly embarrassing moment, but he knew his wife was right. Bringing his empty pot to the conference room, Jim's heart pounded. When he arrived, he couldn't help but marvel at the diversity of plants grown by his fellow executives. They came in all shapes and sizes, truly beautiful. Jim carefully placed his empty pot on the floor, prompting a few chuckles from his colleagues and glances from others. As Mr. Thompson entered the room, he observed the array of greenery and greeted his young executives warmly. Jim tried his best to stay in the background, hoping to avoid notice. "Such splendid plants, trees, and flowers you've all cultivated," exclaimed Mr. Thompson. "Today, one of you will be chosen as the next CEO." Suddenly, Mr. Thompson noticed Jim, who was standing in the back with his empty pot. He instructed the finance director to bring Jim to the front. Jim's nerves skyrocketed. Everyone was looking at him. He thought, "The boss surely knows I've messed up big time. Maybe he's even going to fire me." Mr. Thompson asked everyone to take a seat except Jim. He looked at Jim, then announced to the young executives, "Allow me to introduce your upcoming chief executive, Jim." Jim couldn't believe his ears. He hadn't even managed to get his seed to grow. How on earth could he be the new CEO, especially when everyone else had done so well? Then Mr. Thompson explained, "Exactly a year ago today, I handed each one of you a seed. I told you to plant it, nurture it, and bring it back to me today. But here's the twist. I gave you all boiled seeds, seeds that couldn't possibly sprout. All of you, except Jim, have brought me trees and plants and flowers. When you found that the seed would not grow, you substituted another seed for the one I gave you. Jim was the only one with the courage and honesty to bring me a pot with my seed in it. Therefore, he is the one who will be the new chief executive. An honest person is always known for his honesty, just like a sun is known for its eternal light and unlimited energy. It is a quality which helps a person to succeed in life and get respect. It gives identification to the moral character of a person. Dishonest people may easily get trust and respect from other people, but they lose it forever whenever they get caught.